Alright guys, we're back working on the KLR650. It's a 2009. What I'm going to do today is I want to check the air cleaner. So I just took this side panel off. Had two screws, one here that was a Allen and one back here which was a 10 millimeter. I don't know how many of these are factory because it looks like there's some mismatched screws, but I wanted to take it off because I noticed also the seat was missing a bolt because I could tell it was loose going down the road. So we're going to check the air filter first, and I want to check over some of the other items on this bike, like this right here. This heat shield rattles anytime you get above 4,000 RPM. It starts rattling. It sounds like the motor's coming apart, but it's just this heat shield. So I want to check little bolts like that. Like I said, the seat bolt was missing here. And we're just going to check over some things and kind of, do an inspection on everything. I do need to, or I do want to flush out the brake fluids on front and rear. So we'll get into that here soon. There'll be a lot of other things that I'll get into on this bike. So let's check the air filter. So we're going to take the screw off here and take a look at the air filter. All right guys, so here's the air filter. Very dirty. The previous owner did tell me he had never done anything with the air filter on this. Like I said, he only rode it 40 miles roughly between the time he registered it until the time he sold it to me. So gonna take this air filter out. We're gonna clean this really good and put it back in. So all we're gonna do here is take this wing nut off the back. Hopefully there's no critters living in here, no black widows, anything like that. Long enough wing nut. Alright. Alright. What do we got in here? Nice piece of gravel or something. Airbox, I've seen worse. It's not too bad. So I'm gonna find some cleaner. I think I have some cleaner for this air filter. So we're gonna clean that out and get that put back in. All right guys, so what I did was I just took a brush, the brush I used to clean the chain and sprocket with, just used the back side of it and washed, just kind of brushed off all the big debris off of this. It was pretty bad, so it looks a lot better. So I'm going to put some K&N cleaner that I have on this and then just clean it out in some water and rinse it a few times, and hopefully it'll be good to go. It looks a lot better once it's all that crap was brushed off of it, but it did its job. It kept the dirt and debris off. So I'm gonna clean this up and get it ready to go back in the bike. All right guys, so here's the air cleaner all cleaned up. It's got stains on it just from, I guess, how somebody had oiled it before, but got all the dust and dirt and everything out of it. So I'm gonna let this dry out for a while and then I'll re-oil it and put it back in. But came out pretty good. I will purchase another one probably for the next time it needs the air cleaner changed, and just go ahead and replace it. But that's all you have to do. So just oil it back up and then you can slap it back in your air box, put your screw back on, and you're done with the air cleaner. So that was really easy. Alright guys, I hope you can see on this side of the garage okay. Unfortunately it's a little bit of a shadow over here, but this chain, as you can see, it's pretty bad. I'm probably going to have to replace this chain and sprocket. Sprocket doesn't look too terrible, but the chain has just been neglected for a long time. So I'm going to try to clean it, and what I'm going to use to clean it, since this chain is so dry and kind of crusty, is I'm going to use WD-40. I'm going to spray WD-40 around the whole chain, let it soak for a while, and then go over it with this brush, try to clean the chain really well, and I usually don't use WD-40. I usually use kerosene, but I happen to be out of kerosene right now, and since this chain is a little crusty, that's why I'm going to go ahead and use WD-40, and let's just see what it can do on this chain. But I will lube the chain with something other than WD-40. I'm thinking about using start cleaning. All right, so I sprayed it all down, rotated it several times so we could get through this. So I'm gonna let it soak for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna get the scrubbing, and hopefully we can get this chain to come back enough to last for a little while. Maybe at least through this riding season, and then we'll do chain and sprocket replacement over the winter. But so I'm gonna let this soak for a minute, and then I'm gonna start scrubbing. All right, so let it soak on here for a few minutes, and just started going over it with the brush, and you can see all the dirt that's coming off of this thing, and it is making the chain look a little bit better. I mean, you can tell from down here, let's see, turn the light around, you can see down here where I've scrubbed it to up here where it hasn't been scrubbed. Hope you can tell the difference, but I sure can see the difference. So what I'm going to do is just go around the whole chain, scrub it like this. I'm going to probably spray it back down again with WD-40, just let all that junk run out of it, and then we'll try to see what we can do to clean it up a little bit more, and then lube it up and adjust the chain. So here we go. All right, guys, so I cleaned the chain, then sprayed it down again. And we're gonna take a look at it here a little closer once I clean some of it off. So, chain's not beautiful, but I think it's gonna do for now. Feels like everything is spinning like it should. So I'm gonna go around and just clean the chain off like this and let it dry a little bit, and then we're gonna lube it up. All right, so I rotated the chain all the way around several times, cleaned it. Looks a lot better than it did. Still not great, but you know, the sprockets, I don't know if you can tell in the picture, but the sprockets look pretty good on this bike. So I'm gonna just leave them the way they are for now. I am gonna tighten this chain up some if it needs be. I'm gonna check the book and see what the specs are on it. I'm gonna go ahead and use chain wax on this. I've used it on my other bikes and have had good luck with it. I was going to use regular oil on it, but I'm deciding against that. I've used it on other chains and I like it, so that's what I'm going to go with. We're going to see, you know, I might do some gravel roads and things. We'll see how bad the dust and things stick to it. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and do the chain the same way I cleaned it. I'm not going to video it. It's just the same way I sprayed the WD-40 on is basically what I do, and then just let it sit for a while, and then we'll get this bike off the lift and tension the chain. All right, guys, so if I understand how to check the tension on this chain, they said you should go about halfway between the swing arms from the front to the back. So that would be like right about here, even with this you can see the sticker that's up here. So I've got a Motion Pro chain gauge. I'm going to use that. We're going to put it right here, push all the way up, and then bring it all the way down. And it says that this chain is at 60 millimeters, which it should be at 45. So according to my Motion Pro, it's very loose. Now, one thing it said to do is to get the back wheel off the ground when you're checking the chain tension, which I've always thought you did it on the side stand with the wheel on the ground, but that's how the manual says to check it. So I'm going to check it like this, and then I'll also check it when it's on the ground and know what my measurement is then, and that's where I know if it's on the ground I can set it and it should be right. Hope that makes sense. Makes sense to me. So so let me adjust this chain and grab some tools and we'll adjust this chain. Alright guys, what I'm going to do is break this lock nut loose here so I can then turn this nut to tighten the chain up. So we're going to I'm going to do probably like 3 cranks on each side and see where that puts the chain. Okay, I wound up doing 6 turns each on both sides. So I just checked it again and it was right at 45 millimeters. I'm going to keep it on the high side. I like for the chains to be a little looser than tighter. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this back up. These were 12 millimeter lock nut here and adjuster. So I'm going to tighten these back down on both sides, check up the specs for the rear wheel, and tighten that down as well. Alright guys, so I torqued the bolt back down, the axle bolt back down to 75 foot-pounds I believe it was, and put the carter pin back in. So this puppy may be ready to go for a little ride, so I'm going to get ready to take it down off the stand and see if we can go for a little ride around the block or something.